Good morning. Okay, can you hear me? Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me okay? Okay.
I had you on mute. I had you on mute.
Yeah. So good
Okay.
to see you.
I know. I'm just my daughter's in town, so I'm like trying to squeeze these things in.
Squeeze them, squeeze them.
I,
It's
I
good.
am. I am.
Even if you do half of it, you know?
Yeah, I did a yoga last night and I did go to water aerobics. So I feel like this is good.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Love
Oh,
seeing you again. Oh,
all right. I'm gonna
there
mute
she is.
this.
That might be
All right.
Olivia joining.
Thank
Spotlight. Yeah, she was. Yeah. So is that Olivia that joined?
Yes.
Hi, Olivia.
Morning.
Thank you for your
Hi.
card and gesture. That was so sweet.
Oh, small,
I got it
but I was
yesterday.
thinking of you.
Oh, that was really sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So tomorrow, yoga and meditation at 1:30. And then I'm subbing. I think I'm subbing for Jen. Is it Jen's class on Saturday? Yeah. So I'm subbing for Jen, 10:15 on Saturday. If you would like to join for that class. Mm-hmm. How are we feeling today? Anybody sore from pigeon yesterday? No, it was good. I'll tell you what, I looked out and my heart was so full. Everybody's hips were squared. Normally, yeah, majority are tipped one way or the other. And I was like, wow, because I was like all set to start moving around to like help square hips. And you're cute. Well, I was so proud. I was like, that is a very proud moment. Few more minutes. So do you guys have just parties and parties and parties here for the holidays? Does like each neighborhood do a party and then there's a main one? Like how's it work?
Well, Saturday night was huge at the club.
Yeah.
Almost 400 people in that building.
So like, is there a social committee that organizes that for you guys or?
Well, that was unusual. That was kind of the opening of the carpet.
Uh-huh.
It was shy of 40.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, then they had to cancel the holiday ball because they're not going in. So I think that was their gesture to pick up.
Okay. Hi. And do they have music and like it's like a full on?
They do it. It's like entertainment.
Wow. And do you guys have to pay? Do they charge for that? Or that was
that one they did just drinks. Usually you pay a fee, but it's very reasonable usually for what you can.
uh-huh.
Aren't they doing some other thing coming up too?
Are they?
Hi Deb.
Remember that there was.
Thanks for joining.
Morning, I should say.
And then they replaced some of the training. The town did,
Oh,
Christmas
yeah,
this
that's
weekend.
right. And then, of course, the free one.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't. I was my husband went down. He said it was very good.
Was she coming back?
Not quite. She's back to Hollywood, but then she has to see her.
we grab shops and do some leg openers, hip openers on their backs with them. Great, that was fun last night. Oh, my priorities. Trying to get my mind off the stress my kids have midterm. Well, Julia has midterms. Wow, this week. Yeah, and they're both under the weather. And I know. So, and then my son, he's in sixth grade. So in lieu of midterms, we have them do this creative Shark Tank project. Oh. So it's the first time like working with a group. We had to plug the idea out and do a paper, and they're presenting tomorrow. Oh, that's fun. You didn't go watch them? Well, funny enough, I asked, and I got a response yesterday from the teacher, and it was literally like a whole page of all these rules because they don't want the kids to be distracted or whatever. And so I'm scared. I'm not honestly like scared to go. Like I don't think I'm gonna go. I was like, well, that persuaded me to my decision. I'm like, I guess just have them do their thing. Yeah.
You'll hear all of it.
Yes, yeah. Well, no, because boys, how was it? Good. Yeah. Nick, we missed you yesterday. It was all women. Missed the the male energy. Here today. Good, good. All right, let's start just in a seat before we go to our backs. So find a comfortable seat. Crossing the legs, or if you prefer hero's pose. Just something to be able to settle into. Feeling rooted. Let's inhale through the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth. I have my little bowl here. We'll start with a minute of silence to open up the practice, an opportunity for you to tune into your breath. Also, it's nice to visualize the middle of your brain. If you notice in doing that, that your tongue kind of sealed against the roof of your mouth, let your tongue drop and just let it be soft in your mouth. And just focusing on the breath, or focusing on that middle spot, or maybe even focusing on something that lights you up. Like the Giants winning. Just kidding. Sorry. And we'll begin. I am not my thoughts. My true self is consciousness. The brain creates 60 somewhat somewhere in the vicinity of 60,000 thoughts a day. Most are unconscious thoughts. If we identify with thoughts, we lose the sense of our true self. I am not that which I think. Just all phrases or mantras that may or may not speak to you. Maybe not today, but maybe next week or year. Just food for thought today. Been listening a lot to Judith Lassiter, one of the kind of mama yogis out there. She's been teaching for over 50 years, co-founder of Yoga Journal, deep practitioner of restorative yoga. She says actively cultivating, taking care of ourselves physically, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, learning, opening up and letting go can help us to connect with our true self, our true consciousness, not those 60,000 unconscious thoughts that are just whirling around, and we just take time to breathe, focus, settling that monkey mind to then make way for clearer thoughts and a deeper connection with ourselves and with others. Bring your hands to your heart center, set an intention for your practice. Maybe it's that phrase, I am not my thoughts. My true self is consciousness. Let this carry you through your practice today. We'll open with the sound of Om. Take an inhale and exhale. Empty the breath all the way out. And then we'll exhale. Om on the next exhale. Om. Dedicating your practice. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. May the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and freedom for all. Flickering the eyes open, maybe look to your right and left. Just greet your wonderful neighbor. All of us making up this beautiful yoga community. And then we'll come on to our backs. Have your strap handy. And just start by hugging the knees into your chest. Maybe lift the forehead up to your knees and then drop it back down. Do that a few times, breathing into the back of the neck. After you've done that a few times, then rock side to side, massaging out the back onto the mat. Feeling all parts of the back side make contact with the mat. Instead of hugging the knees close into the chest, move them to 90 degrees and then make 90 degrees with your knees. Feet are flexed. And then bring your arms, reach them up, and then flex your hands. So we're making a tabletop pose on our back. And then I want you to press the middle of your back into the mat. Feel those abdominal muscles start to engage, start to wake up a little bit. Point your toes as if the top of the feet are on the mat. And then flex your feet like you're tucking your toes under. Do that a few more times, keeping the hands flexed. So like your hands are pressing on the mat. And again, notice your back. So we always try and find a neutral spine in tabletop. We need to engage our abdominal muscles to do that. One more time, flexing the feet and pointing them. And then drop the arms down to the mat. Drop the feet down to the mat. And then a cow and cat a few times on your back. So it's very subtle. Start by rounding the back. Press the back into the mat as you kind of shine your tailbone up toward the sky. Inhale, pushing the tailbone into the mat. So that's the tilt. And then creating an arching in the back, the belly lifting. And then exhale, just like you would, into cat pose on your back. Inhale, reverse cow pose on your back. One more time, exhaling into cat. And then neutralize and extend your legs out long onto the mat. Inhale, float the arms overhead. Take a long stretch, reaching through the fingertips. Inhale and exhale the breath out, and then bring your right fingertips, wrap them around your left wrist, and start arching. So making a C shape here. Come over, bring the arms over to your right side, and then take your left foot and cross it over your right ankle. So the edges, the outside edges of your feet are pressing into each other here, stretching this whole left side. So using this right hand wrapped around the wrist to help lengthen that left arm. Press the edges of the feet toward each other to feel that stretch in the legs, maybe the outer hip flexor a little bit. Maybe just visualize the crescent moon in the sky that you're making, that crescent moon shape. And then inhale, release that grasp. Take your left leg, bring it up, and then drop it down to the mat, heel reaching toward that left corner of your mat. And then other side, wrap the left fingers around the right wrist, and start to lead, bend toward the left. Lift your right leg and cross it over that left ankle. Outside edges of the feet pressing into each other as you gently lengthen that right arm with the left hand. Breathing into this side now, and just enjoy opening up each muscle in the rib cage, feeling your breath, each of those intercostal muscles, getting rid of any stored toxins there. Opening up the side bodies helps our lung capacity as we're expanding the rib cage. One more inhale. And then exhale, release, come back to neutral. Separate the legs and then grab your strap. Hug your right knee into your chest. So option to keep that left leg long, resting on the mat, or if it's too much on the low back, you can bring that left foot to the mat. And then wrap the strap around the ball of your right foot, so that space right beneath where the toes meet your foot. And then start to stretch that right leg up to the sky. Your hands are on either side of the strap. Sorry, friends at home, sorry, I forgot to tell you to grab a strap. You can also do this by interlacing the fingers behind the right calf or thigh. So if you don't have a strap. And then push the ball of your foot into the strap and see if you can let your heel drop down. So it's kind of flexing the foot, making that Barbie toe. It's called a floint. Spreading the toes. Deepening the stretch in the back of this right leg, the calf, the hamstring. One more breath in and out, and then grab both sides of the strap in your right hand. Bring your right hand up toward your right foot. And then we're gonna let it drop out to the side. I want you to drop it just a little bit. Keep finding your edge. So your edge is that point where you feel a little bit of resistance. In this particular pose, it's also when that left side, that left hip starts to pop up. That means that you're probably going to want to ease out of how far you drop that right leg down. If the left leg is on the mat, keep it active. Flex that left foot, lengthen through that leg. Just continue to breathe into that edge. Maybe on the exhale, you're able to lower that right leg a little bit more. Trying to keep the 90-degree angle, though, of your legs. Breathing in and out. One more breath in and out, and then inhale, lifting that right leg back up. So we're going to do an IT stretch here. So we're not going to go into a spinal twist. Go ahead and grab both straps, both sides of the strap in your left hand. Bring your right arm down to the floor, palm face down. You want to keep your right leg reaching up toward the sky. And now just bring the right leg over the left, crossing the midline, and instantly you might feel the stretch. We're not going to roll to our left side. We're just crossing the midline and stretching the IT band here on the right side. So keeping the left toes and the left knee facing the ceiling. It's a beautiful stretch. Waking up this IT band. When our IT band is tight, you might experience knee pain. You might experience low back pain. The hips may be tighter than normal if the IT band is tight. The IT band is tissue. Getting into, you might be familiar with the term fascia. One more breath in, and then bring that right leg back to center. Rebend that right knee into the chest, hug it in. Let's make a few circles. Take that right knee out to the side, circle it around. A couple times, one direction, and then reverse that direction. And interlace the fingers behind the right thigh, and then just inhale, straighten the leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, rebend. Inhale, straighten it up to the ceiling. Exhale, rebend. 2 more times. Straightening it up to the ceiling and rebend the right knee. 1 more time. And rebend. And then go ahead and place that foot down. Let's windshield wiper the legs in between sides. So bend the left knee, bring the feet as wide as your mat, and then drop the knees over to the right. Inhale through center, drop them over to the left. Inhale through center, over to the right. And over to the left. and then come back to center. So heel toe the feet in a little closer, extending the right leg out long onto the mat. Hug the left knee into your chest. And then wrap the strap around the ball of the left foot. Extending this left leg up to the ceiling. Hands on either side of the strap, just holding here and pushing the ball of the foot, spreading the toes. Find that floint on this side where you let the heel drop down as you push the ball of the foot into the strap, that Barbie toe. Just breathing into your hamstring and your calf on this side now. Noticing sensations without judgment. This side might feel completely different than the other side. One more breath in and out, and then grab the two sides of the strap in your left hand. Bring that left hand up by your foot. I like to rest my right hand on top of my right hip, just so that I know if that hip starts to pop up. And then start to let the left leg drop out to the side, finding your edge. Honoring that right side, not letting it pop up, but having your sits bones, both sits bones, resting on the floor. And then making this right leg active if it's stretched out on the mat, keeping right toes, right knee facing up, and then coming to the edge and using your breath to breathe through it, to then maybe allow the exhale to let that leg drop a little lower. And notice where you're gripping. You're tightening your thigh muscle a lot, or gripping in the hip, and see if you can soften the grip to allow for there to be just a softening of this opening. One more breath in and out. Inhale the leg back to center and grabbing both sides of the strap in your right hand now, up by that left foot. Left arm comes down to the mat or to the floor. So you've got support there. IT stretch. So just take that left leg just past the midline over to the right until you feel those sensations in the IT band of this left side. If you are rolling that right leg, see if you can keep the toes and the knees facing the ceiling. When we hold in a pose for at least 5 breaths, we're really allowing the process of the stretch to happen. Whenever we move into a pose, it's always a little jarring. So we need to get past that gripping and that grasping to then invite in a little softening. Inhale the leg back to center, release that strap, hug, interlace your fingers behind the left thigh and bend that left knee, and then circle that left knee out a few times, one direction, and then the other direction. Then we'll extend now, interlace the fingers behind the thigh and extend left leg up to the sky, rebend that left knee, extend left leg up to the sky and rebend. 2 more times, extend and rebend. And 1 more, extend and rebend. Hug both knees into your chest. Lift your forehead up to your knees. Give yourself a hug. Breathing into the back of the neck. And then we'll take the hands underneath the knees, rocking forward and back. You get enough momentum where you come up to your sits bones, feet on the mat. We're going to come into what's called a TP twist. Wrap your left arm around in front of your knees. Right hand comes behind. Sit up nice and tall on your sits bones as we breathe into the twist. So twisting from our navel up. One more breath in, lengthening up. Maybe look over that right shoulder a little bit more. And then inhale, come through center, wrapping the right arm in front of the knees. Left hand comes behind. 5 breaths here. So each breath moves us into the twist a little deeper. Try and maybe add looking over your left shoulder, chin parallel with the earth. A little stretch for the neck. And then coming through center, we'll cross at the ankles, roll forward to tabletop. Muscle memory, remembering from when we were on our backs, that sensation of neutralizing the spine by engaging the abdominal muscles. And with that engagement, inhaling into cow and exhaling into cow. Inhale into cow pose and exhale into cat. Keep cat pose. Push your seat to your heels, coming into this extended child's pose. Arms fully engaged, and then inhale back to tabletop. Lower chest, chin to the mat. And inhale, slide forward onto the belly. Finding your cobra, so separate the legs a comfortable distance where you don't feel that pressure in the low back. On an inhale, lifting up into cobra. And then exhale, lower down. We're going to tuck our toes under, push into tabletop, into cat pose, and then straighten the legs to come into downward dog. Straightening the arms, pushing back. So you've got your low belly moving toward the tops of your thighs. And then take your dog for a walk. So drop one heel and bend the other knee. Just stretching those calf muscles out, the hamstrings. Find stillness. And bring all your awareness to breathing into your navel. Engage in those abdominal muscles to hopefully feel like your hips are lifting a little higher, your sits bones lifting a little higher toward the sky. And then inhale, dropping to plank pose. Drop your knees. Hug your elbows in and either lower knees, chest, chin, or just lower the whole upper body down. Setting up for cobra, hug the elbows into the side body. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, tuck toes under. Tabletop, exhaling, grounding the spine, and then straightening the legs. Downward facing dog. Full breath in and out. Inhale, rock forward to plank again. So same thing. Drop knees. Excuse me, hug elbows in, either lower knees, chest, chin, or the whole upper body. Either way, coming onto the belly, hug the elbows in, draw shoulders away from ears, inhaling into cobra. And exhale, lower down, tuck your toes under, tabletop, rounding the spine, and then straightening the legs to bring you into downward facing dog. Move your feet a little closer together. Inhale, lift right leg up. Three-legged dog. So I want you to try and focus on your hips here, leveling your hips. So drop that right leg. Don't lift it too high. Level your hips and then push your heel toward the back wall. So flex that right foot, push the heel toward the back of the room so you really feel the lengthening out through that right leg. Beautiful, everyone. Now lift it up high. Just stretch it out. Come up on your left toes, left heel lifted. Bend that right knee. Lift that right knee up. And we're opening the hip here. And now maybe kick your butt a couple times, straightening that right leg, rebend. And then we'll drop that right leg down. Downward dog, full breath in, and down other side. So start lifting that left leg to where your hips are level. Flex that left foot and push through the heel to feel the lengthening of that left leg. Full breath in and out, and then lift that left leg a little higher. Come up on the right toes, bend that left knee, and lift that left knee up. And then straighten that left leg, rebend, kick your butt a couple times. And then we'll drop that left leg down, look between your hands, and rock the body forward, plank pose. Drop knees, chest, chin, or lower the whole upper body. We meet on our bellies. Rolling cobra. So set up well here. Legs coming to that comfortable distance. Your hands under your shoulders. Hugging elbows in. Push your thighs into the mat as you inhale into cobra. And exhale, lower down. Inhale like a wave. The breath is lifting you up. And exhale, lower down. So no tension in the low back. Inhale, lift up, lift your hands off the mat. And then exhale, lower down, tuck toes under. Tabletop, exhaling, rounding the spine, and then lifting up into downward facing dog. And pedaling out your downward dog again if you want, or taking a few breaths in stillness. Sigh out the breath. Maybe exhale it out through the mouth. Nice. Look between your hands, either a light hop forward or walk the feet up. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Add the arms, floating them out to the sides. Bend your knees and lift the upper body to stand. Straighten the legs, float the arms overhead, hands to heart center, Tadasana, moving into sun salutation. So inhale, arms overhead. So your options will be either to lower chaturanga, knees, chest, chin, or that upper body, full, like lowering down. Plant your hands, bend your knees, step both feet back to plank pose. And then your choice. So if you're doing chaturanga, make sure you rock the body forward a little bit, hug the elbows in. When you get about halfway, then transition. Thighs never drop down to transition into upward dog. And then you lift the hips, roll over your toes to come into downward dog from upward facing dog. Full breath in. You've got 4 more breaths here in downward dog. Breathe into the navel. Find that engagement in your abdominal muscles, the same engagement as in tabletop. One more breath in, really feel that extension in the arms and spine. Look between your hands and either a light hop forward or walk the feet up. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, fold. Yogi's choice, lift with a flat back or roll up to stand. Floating the arms overhead, palms touch, hands to heart center, Tadasana. So another sun salutation, this is classic sun salutation that includes a low lunge. So if you want to use blocks, have it accessible to grab when we move into low lunge. Starting in Tadasana, find your rooting down, drawing the energy up the legs. Inhale, flip the arms overhead, and exhale, diving forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, we're going to start with our right leg, sending it back. If you're using blocks, it'll look like this, low lunge. And then bringing the left leg back to plank, which you can do with blocks. Then drop knees, chest and chin. Inhale, slide forward. Lifting up into cobra on your inhale. And exhale, tuck toes under. Lifting up into downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts, and then draw that knee into your chest, stepping it forward, coming back to that low lunge. Inhale the right foot forward, lift up halfway, and exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms around and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center, Tadasana. Other side, inhale, arms overhead, and exhale, diving forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, we're sending the left leg back now, low lunge. And then we're gonna send the right leg back, plank. Lower knees, chest and chin. Inhale, slide forward, drawing shoulders away from ears. Inhaling into cobra. Exhale, lower down. We transition into downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. Hug the knee into the chest. As you step the right foot forward, find your low lunge. Then inhale, left foot forward to meet the right, lifting up halfway to a flat back. And exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms around and overhead, palms touch. Hands to heart center. Let's pause here. One hand over the heart and one hand to the low belly. Soften the gaze or close the eyes and just feel your life force, your prana, your energy circulating around the body. The sensations. Little body scan here, checking in with the thoughts, with the mind, the whirlings. Any sensations in the body, any shifts that may be happening. One more breath in. And release the arms, Tadasana. Inhale into chair. So seat toward heels. The weight is in your heels. You can wiggle your toes freely. Arms up by the ears, and then bring hands to your heart center and twist to the right. Maybe hooking that left elbow with the right knee. And then check in with your left knee. Make sure it didn't jut forward. You want to draw that left knee back so it's even with the right. And then inhale to center, fold, Uttanasana. Full breath in and out. And then bend your knees, fingertips to the mat, the palms facing your feet. And just hang here for a moment to feel your seat moving towards your heels, the weight in your heels, and then inhale the arms up by the ears, finding chair. Hands to heart center, twist to the left. That right elbow making contact with your left knee. And then if your right knee started moving forward, draw that hip back. Breathing in. Breathing out. Maybe that seat moves down a little bit and then inhale. Hands to heart center. We'll stand. Reach the arms overhead. A slight arching of the upper back. And then dive forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, forward fold, bend your knees. Inhale, lift the arms, chair pose. And then exhale into forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step both feet back to plank. And we lower, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. If you went to the floor, belly on the floor, move in a cobra. If you did chaturanga, upward facing dog. And we all meet in downward dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale the right leg up, three-legged dog. Level those hips. Hug the right knee into your chest. And step that right foot forward. And then spiral your left heel down. Inhale, sweep the arms, sweep the upper body up into warrior one. This is a variation of sun salutation B. Full breath in and out. Soften shoulders away from ears. Focus on a spot in front of you that's not moving. Lengthen through that back leg. One more inhale and then exhale, hands down to the mat. Step that right foot back, finding plank. Either move right into downward dog or vinyasa, lowering chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Coming into upward dog or cobra. And exhale into downward facing dog. Full breath in. And out, child's pose is available if you need a little rest. And then you can rejoin us. Inhale, left leg up. Three-legged dog, hug that knee into your chest. Step that left foot down right behind your hands. Spiraling that right heel down. Left knee bending toward 90 degrees. Inhale, lifting up, warrior one. Taking your time here to adjust. Maybe the left foot can move forward just a little bit to deepen the bend in that left knee. Straightening that right leg. Softening the shoulders. One more breath in. And exhale, hands down to the mat. Yes, option for one more vinyasa or go right into downward dog. So building a little heat if you're doing chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale. exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. And then look between your hands, either a light hop forward or walk your feet up. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana, and then inhale in a chair, bend the knees, flip the arms up by the ears, and then straighten the legs. Hands to heart center. And again, we'll take that pause. One hand over the heart, the chest. One hand to the low belly. Spreading the fingers, your left pinkies moving in the direction down toward your pelvic floor. Your thumb moving up by your navel. So what we're doing here is we're energizing the vagus nerve, the longest nerve that runs up and down in our body. Vagus nerve connects directly with our parasympathetic nervous system. Take a full breath in, inhale, and then swing the arms out to the sides. Inhale the arms up, and exhale, bend the knees, and inhale, reach up. Exhale, nope, not yet. Inhale the arms out to the sides. Inhale the arms up, and so a little faster. Inhale, 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 inhale. One more time. Inhale, inhale, inhale. And then come back to Tadasana. And just enjoy that. You're going to feel a little lightheaded. So just breathe into it. Maybe close the eyes. It's a beautiful release. Oh. Transitioning into a balance. So take all of that beautiful energy, put some weight in your left. Actually, we're going to do warrior 3. So bring your blocks to the front of your mat. Place them shoulder distance apart. Hands to hips. Soften the knees. And step your right foot back to come into warrior 1. Sweep the arms up, maybe shimmy that left foot forward a little bit. Settle into warrior 1 for another breath. And then on your next inhale, reach your arms forward. Reach for the blocks, push off. Straighten that left leg, lifting the right leg so it's hip height. Just like we did earlier, flex that right foot. Toes pointing to the mat to help level the hips. And now play with balance. Lift left arm off the block. Notice the right arm's harder to lift. And maybe really anchoring, really rooting into that left foot. And maybe hands can come to heart center. The chest has to lift up a little bit. Really try and straighten that left leg. Beautiful, everyone. Maybe it's just lifting the hands off the blocks for just a breath. And then bring hands back down to the blocks and moving into standing split. Bring your fingertips to the mat, close to that left foot. Lift that right leg. So you're kind of folding in half. So ideally, you want to still try and keep your hips level, but inching that right leg up and then drawing the head toward your left knee. There's the option to wrap one hand around that left leg. If you want to add balance into your standing split, there's even the option to wrap both hands around that left leg if you want to come out of the pose and just glance up forward. So full expression of the pose looks something like this. And then bring that right leg down to meet the left. Inhale, half lift. And fold Uttanasana. Full breath in and out. Bend the knees, roll up to stand. Other side. So come to Tadasana. Find your rooting down through both feet. Bend the knees a little bit. Step that left leg back. Spiraling the heel down. Bending right knee. Finding warrior one first. So our hips are squared in warrior three. So warrior one's a great place to start. Next inhale, reach the arms forward for your blocks. Push off that left foot. Straighten the right. Your blocks are under your shoulders. Play with lifting the right arm. And then left. Or fly both arms out. Try and drop that left hip a little bit. And if you point the toes toward the mat, it helps to level the hips. Draw all your awareness to breathing into your navel. Coming into standing split, bring the hands back to the blocks. Level that left hip out, drop it down, and then bring your fingertips down to the mat, drawing chest and the head down toward that right knee, maybe wrapping one hand around the right back of the right ankle. And then drop that left leg down. And then walk heel toe your feet as wide as your mat. Turn your toes out. We'll lower our seat to bring us into Malasana squat pose. Elbows coming to the inside of the knees. Maybe swing from side to side. If you need the support of a block under your seat, by all means, take it. You want a long spine here if you can, instead of leaning forward. Focus the gaze, something not moving in front of you, and just moving out the breath. Inhale to form, and exhale to form. One more breath in. And out, and then rock forward. If you use the block, move it. If not, bring your hands behind you. We're going to roll onto our backs, hug the knees into the chest, and rock from side to side. Setting up for bridge pose. Drop the feet to the mat. Feet and knees hip distance apart. Move your feet close enough to your sits bones where when you extend your arms, you can graze the back of your heels with your longest finger. And then let the arms come out to the sides, about 20 degrees, palms face down. On your next inhale, press into your feet. Fire up your glutes. Lift your hips toward the ceiling. creating this beautiful back extension, light pressure in the back of your head and the back of your shoulders. Your gaze, try not to move your head to the right or left. Gaze and nose facing the ceiling. If I came around, I could slide a pencil underneath everybody's neck. So feeling that engagement in the thighs, your glutes firing up to help the natural curvature of your spine in this bridge. One more inhale, and then exhale, lower slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Another bridge, press into your feet, lift your hips up. If most of your back is off the mat, option to roll one shoulder under at a time. So creating a deeper opening in the heart space and chest. Reach for your fingers, interlace your fingers under your back and press the arms into the mat. Press the feet. Keep those glutes firing up. And that's only an option if interlacing the fingers is not working for you. If the shoulders are not quite there yet, you don't have to do that. One more breath in and then untuck your shoulders, lower one vertebrae at a time. Coming into our revolved abdomen twist, press into your feet and lift your hips just an inch off the mat. Shift your hips over to the right a couple of inches and then lower the sacrum to the mat. Hug your knees all the way into your chest and then roll them down to the floor to the left side. So the knees are making a 90-degree angle. Extend your right arm out from your shoulder. Palm face up to help that right shoulder externally rotate toward the earth. Your left hand either resting on top of your right knee, or it can also come onto the floor. So your arms then are making a T shape. And start to soften the gaze here. Maybe you could turn the head to the right so you're looking out over your right arm. Feel the fullness of the breath in your rib cage. If you turned your head, bring it back to neutral, lift your knees to center and drop your feet. Neutralize your spine. So bring your spine back to up and down, and then press into your feet. Lift your hips an inch, shift them to the left a couple of inches. Lower the back and then hug the knees into the chest, rocking them down to the right side. Making that 90-degree angle with your legs. Left arm extends out from the shoulder. So same thing on this side, helping that left shoulder to rotate down toward the earth. You can even lift, press into the back of that left arm a little bit. Lift the left side of the chest, roll, glide your shoulder blade under. The gaze either looking up or you can turn your head to look out over the left arm. Try and deepen the breath on these next two rounds where you really feel that breath open up the rib cage, removing toxins in this twist. Softening the whirlings by maybe saying to yourself, I am not my thoughts. Turning the head back to neutral, lifting the knees back to center, dropping the feet to the mat. Adjust your spine back to neutral, and then heel toe your feet as wide as the mat. Bring your hands to your belly. Let your knees and thighs fall together. If there's any tension, if there's any like major stretch that you feel, you might need to widen the space between your heels and your sits bones. Let your feet as wide as the mat so that you've got room for the knees and thighs to fall together. And this softens the inner groin muscles. This softens the belly. This softens your psoas muscle. Allows the whole back to soften against the mat. Allowing you to now come into your constructive breath. You need to take a deep inhale and sigh it out through the mouth. Making any last movements so that you can settle into stillness. Staying like this for your entire rest if this feels good for the back. Or you're welcome to straighten the legs to come into corpse pose. Either way, it's Shavasana. Shavasana represents the surrender of all things that are foreign to our soul. When we have completed our yoga practice and given it our best, it is time to let go. This time for yogic sleep. Not born out of tiredness, but instead a completely open state of mind and heart that invites the grace of unconditional love into our life. In one of the yogic myths, Krishna, as the embodiment of that love, says to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, please give up all your duties and surrender unto me as love personified. I promise that when you die, you will come to me and will not be born again in the world of illusion. This knowledge is the supreme wisdom and the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, imperishable, and its experience brings the greatest joy. Our yogic sleep helps us cultivate taking care of ourselves physically, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, learning and opening up to letting go. I am not that which I think. My true self is consciousness. Letting your thoughts pass by like the wind in the trees. Knowing you are rooted in something bigger than your ego. Start to deepen your breath. Invite in small movements, wiggling your fingers and your toes, circling your wrists and ankles. If the knees are bent, straightening the legs, inhale the arms overhead. Take a long stretch. Hug the knees into your chest, roll to your right side. Take a couple of breaths there before coming up to a seat. Once you make your way to your seat, bringing your hands to your heart center and a soft bow of your head toward your heart, take a moment to recall your intention that you set. Thank yourself for being here, for being part of this yogi community. Full inhale, exhale the breath out. Turning the corners of your mouth slightly out. Have a beautiful day. Thank you. Thanks, our friends online. We had a full crew, Peg and Deb and Olivia. We appreciate you joining us.
Thank you. It's great.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, 1:30 for yoga and meditation, and then subbing Saturday's yoga class at 10:15. I don't know if Saturday, if I Zoom, does Jen usually Zoom? I'll have to get that. Does it? Okay. I'll have to find that out. Okay. You're welcome.
That was wonderful.
Glad you enjoyed it. Oh, you didn't want to
No, that was.
Yes. So, are you mad?
Well, we're mad that I couldn't.
Interesting, yeah.
I'm more disappointed. I was thinking more about my toe.
Oh, but you were nursing it, and I remember when I broke my pinky toe, and it took me, like, I had to modify rolling over. I always had to just kind of turn my foot, but then I let go of the attachment.
I can relate to that because you look at my foot, I had surgery.
Yeah.
So my toe is fused.
Okay.
So instead of two joints, I have one.
Okay.
So I can't like roll over this.
Yeah. So you have to just modify. So then, so when you're, because I remember.
Yeah, I can't go through the.
So if you're an upward facing dog.
And then I get a cramp.
And then so here, you can press in, but then.
Yes. So there's no
You know,
rolling.
so, exactly. Yeah, so you just modify, but it's no.
Modifying life.
That's what we do, right? Ah.
Okay.
You know,
So other than that.
so